Welcome to the SharePoint online training. The objectives of this training session are that attendees will leave this session with an understanding of the skills for SharePoint Online, how to navigate features of SharePoint Online, and the correct uses for SharePoint Online. And throughout, we're going to demonstrate many of the SharePoint essential, fundamental, foundational features, such as what is SharePoint, what is a single point of truth, how to access SharePoint sites, follow a site, sync that document library to your desktop, along with some of the other features like sharing, adding files, searching, revision history, along with details and activity. What is Microsoft SharePoint? Well, SharePoint pretty much is the entire file storage system of Office 365. A OneDrive is a personal storage space that's intended for document rights for one user, whereas Microsoft Teams is a smaller group of document rights intended for an ad hoc group that has lateral access, so everybody has an equal footing and shared access within that group to those documents. And then there's SharePoint Online, which is for a larger group, more like a department or an organization, to be able to access a library of resources. Traditionally, document management has always been we have a document and then I email that or copy it or share it with multiple people who have their own version of that document. And then they add their input onto those documents and then send them back, in which case we have 3 separate documents or more, and then those need to be compiled back into one document. So that becomes a lot of work to try to get one document collaborated between multiple people. With the modern version of using SharePoint Online and having the documents in the cloud, many users can work on the document at the same time, creating a single point of truth, one document that references everybody's input working together. There are many different ways to get to your SharePoint site collection. One of the main ones is just to go through 365. When you log into 365, in the top left is your waffle, and you click on there and go down to your SharePoint, and it'll open up your SharePoint app. Once you're here, it'll show you all of the SharePoints that you have available to you, that you've used frequently, or that you're following. This could include Teams sites as well, because those are fundamentally based on SharePoint. So those all show up here, especially if you've used them frequently. By clicking the star, that follows it. If I uncheck it, it's not in the following section. But by checking that star, it puts it in the following area, which makes it persistent. Whether you're frequent or not, it will show up here. And then you just click on the card and it'll take you to your SharePoint site. And as SharePoint is online based, it has a URL. And so since it has a URL, you can make it a favorite. So that way it'll be in your bookmarks and you can access it right there. Another way is through documents. Once you're here, you have a menu at the top, and one of the items in the menu is sync. What sync will do is it will sync this document library to your file explorer, the same as you would have a local drive like a G or an F or a Q or an R drive that hits something local. By using sync, it will add a link to these files in this document library into your file explorer, so you can manipulate them and use them the same way you would any other folder on your computer through File Explorer. When you are on SharePoint Online, there's many ways that you can manage your files that are located in there. If you want to add more files into your document library, you can just drag files from a File Explorer and drop them in here, or you can upload them from your computer, or you can actually create new documents, whether it's a folder, Word document, Excel, or PowerPoint. But since you're in the cloud, you can also create a OneNote notebook, forms, Visio, or even links. And those can all come in here as well. And then once you get a document in here, you can actually open them. So if you click the dot in front of it and the dot next to it, you get a link of what you can do in this menu, and open is at the top. You can choose to open it in the browser, you can open it in the full app, or you can open it in Immersive Reader. When you open it in the browser, it's going to open up a tab, and there's your document. And anything you edit in here will get updated live. If you choose to open in the app, it's going to open the Word document, and then again, anything you edit in here will update live into your SharePoint online. But then you can also open it in Immersive Reader. And Immersive Reader allows an accessibility view for users who maybe need to learn or read differently. So none of this actually impacts the document itself. It's just on how it's viewed. And it allows you to
a soft and fluffy velveteen wrap.
Have it read to you. You can also choose in some of the preferences how the display looks, what the font you need. Do you need it to be a larger font? It has the increased spacing. You can turn that off. You can also say whether you want parts of speech to be listed and syllables broken out if you needed it. And then you can also do line focus to help you focus on what you're reading or having it read to you. Whether it's one line, you can have it choose a different language as well by word or document. And it also has the picture dictionary turned on. So if I were to click that, it would show it as well as
rabbit
or in the other language
Konang.
To allow all kinds of accessibility features to help the reader participate and collaborate the best that they can through the understanding of the material. That is Immersive Reader. In SharePoint Online, there's many ways that you can share a document so that people can collaborate in real time, all at the same time, together on that document, whether it's a Word document, Excel document, PowerPoint document. By sharing it and allowing folks to have access to it and edit access, you can all work on it at the same time. To do that, you find your document, and there's many different ways to share it. If you notice, it's right here next to it, you can share. If you go to the ... you have the ability to share. You also have it in the top menu. And they all do the same thing. When you click share, it's going to open up the share menu. And when you're here, you get to choose who you want to share it with. If you click that, you can say specific people, if they're external, anyone that has a link, people within your organization. I'm going to say a specific person. And then you can say, do you want them allowed to edit it? So if you just want them to read only, you uncheck that. And now they're only reading that document. And if you even want to get a little bit more security based, you can block them from downloading it. So they can only view it online. Once I apply those settings, it takes me back. And now I can add the name of who I'm going to send it to, a security group, or an email to that person. It already shows they can't edit it, they can view only. I type in my message here, explaining what the purpose of this is. And when I hit send, it's going to send a link to this document to that person or group. When somebody accesses that link, it will send me an email saying that this person has accessed this document. And if that's expected behavior, there you go. It also provides with a link that can be copied and added to a URL or turned into a hot link inside of a Word document if you want to make a hyperdocument of that sort. Then, if you want to manage that access after the fact, again, another way you can share also, you go to Manage Access, and inside here, you can see who has access to this document. So you see people inside the organization right now have a link that they can click on that'll take them to this document and they can edit it. You also see that members of this site can edit. Owners own the document. And then you have the ability to manage this. So if I want to say test site members, I can actually click on that and stop sharing it with them, which removes their access to that document. Also, this is a link that was out there, and if I'm ready for that link to expire, I don't want it to be accessible anymore, I can click on the gear, which allows me to delete it. Now that link is gone. So that link no longer works. If somebody has that link and they click on it, they're going to get to a screen that says, you don't have access, request access. And again, you have the ability to share from this manage access location also. So you have multiple ways you can share it, even from the document itself. Another great feature about having your files and folders located in SharePoint Online is that it becomes indexed right away and makes it very easy to search those documents. So the documents that you have access to in this SharePoint site, at the top, if I click search this library, what I can do is once I start typing, it'll start populating documents that are intended for you that you have access to, that are all within this library. So you don't have to know the file structure of where something is located inside this document library. You can search for it if you know the topic of it. And on a wider scale, if I go back to the SharePoint app, where I have all my sites that are available to me, including Teams and SharePoint sites, up here I can search all of SharePoint for all of the documents or folders that I have access to me across the organization. Now, it doesn't show me all the documents or folders across the organization, just all of the folders, files that I have access to across the organization. So it's all rights-based. I can see what I have access to. I can't see what other people have access to without me being shared with them as well. So the SharePoint app gets to see the entire organization. But if I know that it's inside this SharePoint site, I can just directly search this site to find the document that I'm looking for. Microsoft also provides you with many safety nets to help support you and your files online. One of them is the recycle bin. So if I take this document that's highlighted and I were to delete it, initially I'm going to get a box that says, do you want to delete this? So it can't be really an accidental deletion. And I say delete, and it is now gone. I also have an alert saying I deleted it. But then if I realize that I really didn't want to delete that, over in the left menu is the recycle bin. If I click on the recycle bin, it's going to open up and it'll show me all the documents that have been deleted. I can actually highlight that document and I can choose to delete it for good, or I can restore that document if it was deleted in error. I can go back to documents, and there it is available to you back again in the document library. But along with that, I also have revision history available to me, which allows me to take a document, and if I click the ... I can look at version history. And if I click on that, I can see when this document was edited and by whom. Sometimes when you have a template document, something that's in here for people to use as a starter, somebody might start typing in it and make it their own. It's happened before. What you do is you find the version that you're on, that's the live version, and you can save that document as the new document that it is. And then what you can do is go back, clicking the drop down, to the last known good template version or version before it got edited, and I can restore it. It's going to ask me if I want to restore it. Yes, because I've already saved the current version, so I'm not going to lose any data. It's just its own document now. And I say okay. And so now the version history is going to show that today I just updated this and added another change to it. You also have the ability in here to go down to details. And if I click on details, it's going to open up this pane on the side that's going to give me a preview of the document, as well as who has access to it and the properties. And then as I scroll down, I also get to see the activity, who edited it, who restored it, if it was deleted, how it was changed. So I can click on that and get all of that information available to me as well. Another feature available with SharePoint Online is the ability to have alerts. So if I have this document and I want to be alerted when somebody makes an edit to it or changes it, I can come over to the ... after highlighting and go to Alert Me. It's going to open up a menu that's going to allow me to add a title, who I should send the alerts to, how I want it sent, whether it's through email or text messages. Am I being alerted when anything changes or someone else changes a document that I had just changed? And also when to send the alerts. Do I get that notification immediately so I can respond and address that change immediately? Do I find that at the end of the day? Or is it a weekly summary of activity on that document for accountability, or to find out if it's a stale document where nobody's really editing it and it can be archived or deleted? Along with alerts, you also have a lot of fun features you can do as far as automate too. Once you get automate and rules and power automate, you can do more dynamic activities with those documents as well. These are some of the foundational features that you have available to you when documents are in SharePoint Online.